Good morning. This morning we're going to start with the Tablet of Ahmad. He is the King, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Lo, the nightingale of paradise singeth upon the twigs of the tree of eternity, with holy and sweet melodies, proclaiming to the sincere ones the glad tidings of the nearness of God, calling the believers in the divine unity to the court of the presence of the generous one, informing the severed ones of the message which hath been revealed by God the King, the glorious, the peerless, guiding the lovers to the seat of sanctity and to this resplendent beauty. Verily, this is that most great beauty foretold in the books of the messengers, through whom truth shall be distinguished from error, and the wisdom of every command shall be tested. Verily, he is the tree of life, that bringeth forth the fruits of God, the exalted, the powerful, the great. O Ahmad, bear thou witness that verily he is God, and there is no God but him, the King, the Protector, the Incomparable, the Omnipotent. And that the one whom he hath sent forth by the name of Ali was the true one from God, to whose commands we are all conforming. Say, O people, be obedient to the ordinances of God which have been enjoined in the Bayan by the glorious, the wise one. Verily, he is the King of the messengers, and his book is the mother book, did ye but know. Thus doth the nightingale utter his call unto you from this prison. He hath but to deliver this clear message. Whosoever desireth, let him turn aside from this counsel. And whosoever desireth, let him choose the path to his Lord. O people, if ye deny these verses, by what proof have ye believed in God? Produce it, O assemblage of false ones. Nay, by the one in whose hand is my soul, they are not and never shall be able to do this, even should they combine to assist one another. O Ahmad, forget not my bounties while I am absent. Remember my days during thy days, and my distress and banishment in this remote prison. And be thou so steadfast in my love that thy heart shall not waver. Even if the swords of the enemies rain blows upon thee, and all the heavens and the earth arise against thee. Be thou as a flame of fire to mine enemies, and a river of life eternal to my loved ones, and be not of those who doubt. And if thou art overtaken by affliction in my path, or degradation for my sake, be not thou troubled thereby. rely upon God, thy God, and the Lord of thy fathers. For the people are wandering in the paths of delusion, bereft of discernment to see God with their own eyes, or hear his melody with their own ears. Thus have we found them, as thou also dost witness. Thus have their superstitions become veils between them and their own hearts, and kept them from the path of God, the exalted, the great. Be thou assured in thyself that verily he who turns away from this beauty hath also turned away from the messengers of the past, and showeth pride towards God from all eternity to all eternity. Learn well this tablet, O Ahmad, chant it during thy days, and withhold not thyself therefrom. For verily God hath ordained for the one who chants it the reward of 100 martyrs, and a service in both worlds. These favors have we bestowed upon thee as a bounty on our part, and a mercy from our presence, that thou mayest be of those who are grateful. By God, should one who is in affliction or grief read this tablet with absolute sincerity, God will dispel his sadness, solve his difficulties, and remove his afflictions. Verily, he is the merciful, the compassionate. Praise be to God, the Lord of all the worlds. Good morning. Here's a prayer by the Bab. Glory be to thee, O God. Thou art the God who hath existed before all things, who will exist after all things, and will last beyond all things. Thou art the God who knoweth all things and is supreme over all things. Thou art the God who dealeth mercifully with all things, who judgeth between all things, and whose vision embraceth all things. Thou art God, my Lord. Thou art aware of my position. Thou dost witness my inner and outer being. Grant thy forgiveness unto me, and unto the believers who responded to thy call. Be thou my sufficing helper against the mischief of whosoever may desire to inflict sorrow upon me, or wish me ill. Verily thou art the Lord of all created things. Thou dost suffice everyone, while no one can be self-sufficient without thee. Here's another prayer by the Bab. In the name of God, the Lord of overpowering majesty, the all-sufficing, the all-compelling. Hallowed be the Lord, in whose hand is the source of dominion. He createth whatsoever he willeth, by his word of command be, and it is. His hath been the power of authority heretofore, and it shall remain his hereafter. He maketh victorious whomsoever he pleaseth, through the potency of his behest. He is in truth the powerful, the Almighty. Unto him pertaineth all glory and majesty in the kingdoms of revelation and creation, and whatever lieth between them. Verily he is the potent, the all-glorious. From everlasting he hath been the source of indomitable strength, and shall remain so unto everlasting. He is indeed the Lord of might and power. All the kingdoms of heaven and earth, and whatever is between them, are God's, and his power is supreme over all things. All the treasures of earth and heaven and everything between them are his, and his protection extendeth over all things. He is the creator of the heavens and the earth, and whatever lieth between them, and he truly is a witness over all things. He is the Lord of reckoning for all that dwell in the heavens and the earth, and whatever lieth between them, and truly God is swift to reckon. He setteth the measure assigned to all who are in the heavens and the earth, and whatever is between them. Verily he is the supreme protector. He holdeth in his grasp the keys of heaven and earth, and of everything between them. At his own pleasure doth he bestow gifts, through the power of his command. Indeed, his grace encompasseth all, and he is the all-knowing. Say, God sufficeth unto me. He is the one who holdeth in his grasp the kingdom of all things, through the power of his hosts of heaven and earth, and whatever is between them. He protecteth whomsoever among his servants he willeth. God in truth keepeth watch over all things. Immeasurably exalted art thou, O Lord. Protect us from what lieth in front of us and behind us, above our heads, on our right, on our left, below our feet, and every other side to which we are exposed. Verily thy protection over all things is unfailing. Here's a prayer by Abdu'l-Baha. O my Lord, thou knowest that the people are encircled with pain and calamities, and are environed with hardships and trouble. Every trial doth attack man, and every dire adversity doth assail him, like unto the assault of a serpent. There is no shelter and asylum for him, except under the wing of thy protection, preservation, guard, and custody. O thou merciful one, O my Lord, make thy protection my armor, thy preservation my shield, humbleness before the door of thy oneness my guard, and thy custody and defense my fortress and my abode. Preserve me from the suggestions of self and desire, and guard me from every sickness, trial, difficulty, and ordeal. Verily, thou art the protector, the guardian, the preserver, the sufficer. And verily, thou art the merciful of the most merciful. Here is another prayer by Abdu'l-Baha, which is part of which speaks specifically to the plight of the persecuted Baha'is, of which there are many in Iran and some of the other Islamic countries. O thou kind and loving providence, the east is astir, and the west surgeth, even as the eternal billows of the sea. The gentle breezes of holiness are diffused, and from the unseen kingdom the rays of the orb of truth shine forth resplendent. The anthems of divine unity are being chanted, and the ensigns of celestial might are waving. The angelic voice is raised, and even as the roaring of the Leviathan soundeth the call to selflessness and evanescence, the triumphal cry, Ya Bahá'u'lláh, resoundeth on every side, and the call, Ya Ali'ullah, ringeth throughout all regions. No stir is there in the world, save that of the glory of the one ravisher of hearts, and no tumult is there, save the surging of the love of him, the incomparable, the well-beloved. The beloved of God, with their musk-scented breath, burn like bright candles in every clime, and the friends of the All-Merciful, even as unfolding flowers, can be found in all regions. Not for a moment do they rest. They breathe not, but in remembrance of thee, and crave not but to serve thy cause. In the meadows of truth they are as sweet singing nightingales, and in the flower garden of guidance they are even as brightly colored blossoms. With mystic flowers they adorn the walks of the garden of reality, as swaying cypresses they line the river banks of the divine will. Above the horizon of being they shine as radiant stars. In the firmament of the world they gleam as resplendent orbs. Manifestations of celestial grace are they, and day springs of the light of divine assistance. Grant, O thou loving Lord, that all may stand firm and steadfast, shining with everlasting splendor, so that at every breath gentle breezes may blow from the bowers of thy loving kindness, that from the ocean of thy grace a mist may rise, that the kindly showers of thy love may bestow freshness, and the zephyr waft its perfume from the rose garden of divine unity. Vouchsafe, O best beloved of the world, a ray from thy splendor, O well-beloved of mankind. Shed upon us the light of thy countenance. O God omnipotent, Do thou shield us and be our refuge. And, O Lord of being, show forth thy might and thy dominion. O loving Lord, the movers of sedition are in some regions astir and active, and by night and day are inflicting a grievous wrong. Even as wolves, tyrants are lying in wait, and the wronged innocent flock hath neither help nor succor. Hounds are on the trail of the gazelles of the fields of divine unity, and the pheasant in the mountains of heavenly guidance is pursued by the ravens of envy. O thou divine providence, preserve and protect us. O thou who art our shield, save us and defend us. Keep us beneath thy shelter, and by thy help save us from all ills. Thou art indeed the true protector, the unseen guardian, the celestial preserver, and the heavenly loving Lord. Here's another prayer by Abdu'l-Baha. O God, my God, fill up for me the cup of detachment from all things. And in the assembly of thy splendors and bestowals, rejoice me with the wine of loving thee. Free me from the assaults of passion and desire. Break off from me the shackles of this nether world. Draw me with rapture unto thy supreme, supernal realm, and refresh me amongst the handmaids with the breathings of thy holiness. O Lord, brighten thou my face with the lights of thy bestowals. Light thou mine eyes with beholding the signs of thine all-subduing might. Delight my heart with the glory of thy knowledge that encompasseth all things. Gladden thou my soul with thy soul-reviving tidings of great joy, O thou King of this world and the kingdom above, O thou Lord of dominion and might, that I may spread abroad thy signs and tokens, and proclaim thy cause, and promote thy teachings, and serve thy law, and exalt thy word. Thou art verily the powerful, the ever-giving, the able, the omnipotent. I want to welcome everyone and say that I hope that you're well today. someone mentioned how often I say the tablet for the northeastern states, which was revealed by Abdu'l-Baha in Haifa after he returned from his historic journey to the United States in 1912. And the reason is because this was revealed by Abdu'l-Baha to the northeastern states. And he says at the beginning, the following supplication is to be read by the teachers and friends daily. And that's why. So here's the tablet for the northeastern states. O thou kind Lord, praise be unto thee, that thou hast shown us the highway of guidance, opened the doors of the kingdom, and manifested thyself through the Sun of reality. To the blind thou hast given sight, to the deaf thou hast granted hearing. Thou hast resuscitated the dead, thou hast enriched the poor, thou hast shown the way to those who have gone astray. Thou hast led those with parched lips to the fountain of guidance. Thou hast suffered the thirsty fish to reach the ocean of reality, and thou hast invited the wandering birds to the rose garden of grace. O thou Almighty, we are thy servants and thy poor ones. We are remote and yearn for thy presence, are athirst for the water of thy fountain, are ill, longing for thy healing. We are walking in thy path and have no aim or hope save the diffusion of thy fragrance, so that all souls may raise the cry of, O God, guide us to the straight path. May their eyes be open to behold the light. May they be freed from the darkness of ignorance. May they gather around the lamp of thy guidance. May every portionless one receive a share, and may the deprived become the confidants of thy mysteries. O Almighty, look upon us with the glance of mercifulness. Grant us heavenly confirmation. Bestow upon us the breath of the Holy Spirit, so that we may be assisted in thy service, and like unto brilliant stars, shine in these regions with the light of thy guidance. Verily thou art the powerful, the mighty, the wise, and the seeing. If anybody has any prayer requests, just type it in and I'll see it. And also, when we begin the study or the reading portion, if anybody has any comments or questions, type those in as well. From the sweet-scented streams of thine eternity, give me to drink, O my God, and of the fruits of the tree of thy being, Enable me to taste, O my hope. From the crystal springs of thy love, suffer me to quaff, O my glory. And beneath the shadow of thine everlasting providence, let me abide, O my light. Within the meadows of thy nearness, before thy presence, make me able to roam, O my beloved, and at the right hand of the throne of thy mercy, seat me, O my desire. From the fragrant breezes of thy joy, let a breath pass over me, O my goal. And into the heights of the paradise of thy reality, let me gain admission, O my adored one. To the melodies of the dove of thy oneness, suffer me to hearken, O resplendent one. And through the spirit of thy power and thy might, quicken me, O my provider. In the spirit of thy love, keep me steadfast, O my succorer, and in the path of thy good pleasure, set firm my steps, O my maker. Within the garden of thine immortality, before thy countenance, let me abide forever, O thou who art merciful unto me. And upon the seat of thy glory, establish me, O thou who art my possessor. To the heaven of thy loving kindness, lift me up, O my quickener, and unto the day star of thy guidance, lead me, O thou my attractor. Before the revelations of thine invisible essence, summon me to be present, O thou who art my origin and my highest wish, and unto the essence of the fragrance of thy beauty, which thou wilt manifest, cause me to return, O thou who art my God. Potent art thou to do what pleaseth thee. Thou art verily the most exalted, the all-glorious, the all-highest. Yesterday, we started reading from a tablet of Bahá'u'lláh revealed in Akka after the Kitab-i Aqdas, the Book of Laws. So we'll continue. True reliance is for the servant to pursue his profession and calling in this world, to hold fast unto the Lord, to seek not but his grace, inasmuch as in his hands is the destiny of all his servants. The essence of detachment is for man to turn his face towards the courts of the Lord, to enter his presence, behold his countenance, and stand as a witness before him. The essence of understanding is to testify to one's poverty and submit to the will of the Lord, the sovereign, the gracious, the powerful, the all-powerful. The source of courage and power is the promotion of the Word of God and steadfastness in his love. The essence of charity is for the servant to recount the blessings of his Lord and to render thanks unto him at all times and under all conditions. And now we will return to the Summons of the Lord of Hosts, a collection of tablets by Bahá'u'lláh, and the Suriy-i-Haykal, the first tablet in this collection, and the letter to Nasruddin Shah, the Shah of Persia in the 1800s, from Bahá'u'lláh. So we're in the middle of this letter, and I'm going to go back and read a couple of paragraphs that I read yesterday, because to me these particular paragraphs are so incredible and they're so moving. I have seen, O Shah, in the path of God, what eye hath not seen, nor ear heard. Mine acquaintances have repudiated me, and my pathways have been straightened. The fount of well-being hath run dry, and the bower of ease hath withered. How numerous the tribulations which have reigned and will soon reign upon me. I advance with my face set towards him who is the Almighty, the All-Bounteous, whilst behind me glideth the serpent. Mine eyes have rained down tears until my bed is drenched. I sorrow not for myself, however. By God, mine head yearneth for the spear, out of love for its Lord. I never passed a tree, but mine heart addressed it, saying, O would that thou wert cut down in my name, and my body crucified upon thee in the path of my Lord. For I see the people wandering, distraught and unconscious in their drunken stupor. They have raised on high their passions and set down their God. Methinks they have taken his cause for a mockery. and regard it as a play and pastime, believing all the while that they do well and that they dwell securely in the citadel of safety. Howbeit the matter is not as they fondly imagine. Tomorrow shall they behold that which today they are wont to deny. Okay, I'm going to go on. Ere long shall the exponents of wealth and power banish us from the land of Adrianople to the city of Acca. According to what they say, it is the most desolate of the cities of the world, the most unsightly of them in appearance, the most detestable in climate, and the foulest in water. It is as though it were the metropolis of the owl, within whose precincts naught can be heard save the echo of its cry. Therein have they resolved to imprison this youth, to shut against our faces the doors of ease and comfort, and to deprive us of every worldly benefit throughout the remainder of our days. By God, though weariness lay me low, and hunger consume me, and the bare rock be my bed, and my fellows the beasts of the field, I will not complain, but will endure patiently, as those endued with constancy and firmness have endured patiently through the power of God, the eternal King and Creator of the nations, and will render thanks unto God under all conditions. We pray that out of his bounty exalted be he may release through this imprisonment the necks of men from chains and fetters, and cause them to turn with sincere faces towards his face, who is the mighty, the bounteous. Ready is he to answer whosoever calleth upon him, and nigh is he unto such as commune with him. We further beseech him to make of this darksome tribulation a shield for the temple of his cause, and to protect it from the assault of sharpened swords and pointed daggers. Adversity hath ever given rise to the exaltation of his cause and the glorification of his name. Such hath been God's method carried into effect in centuries and ages past. That which the people now fail to apprehend, they shall ere long discover. On that day, when their steeds shall stumble, and their finery be folded up, their blades blunted, and their feet made to falter. I know not how long they shall spur on the charger of self and passion, and rove in the wilderness of error and negligence. Shall either the pomp of the mighty or the wretchedness of the abased endure? Shall he who reposeth upon the loftiest seat of honor, who hath attained the pinnacle of might and glory, abide forever? Nay, my Lord, the All-Merciful. All on earth shall pass away, and there remaineth alone the face of my Lord, the all-glorious, the most bountiful. I am delighted to have had you join me this morning. Let me say a prayer for us today. I pray that today we may be protected from doubt. That no matter what happens to us today, no matter what we have to deal with, no matter what comes across our path, that we may have ironclad faith in God and know that He has a purpose in this world and in our lives. That we may be calm, that we may be steadfast, that we may rise above our passions, our reactivity, and show kindness and humility to all who cross our path. Ya Bahá'u'lláh, O thou glory of the most glorious.